What's going on, Badger fans? Welcome to a special edition of Locked On Badgers. We're going to talk Luke Fickell. What was it like growing up with him? Why he's the right choice for Wisconsin? And what happens if Ohio State comes calling? We're going to talk about all of that and more. Your comments, your questions, your thoughts on Wisconsin. Let's get this thing going. Let's go.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, Badger fans? Welcome to Locked On Badgers. Special guest today. We're just going to bring him right in because this is going to be a fun one. We got comedian Jake Iannarino join the show. Movies, producing, writing, all sorts of stuff. But maybe most importantly, growing up with Luke Fickell and a new Badger fan. Jake, what's up, my friend?
What's up, dude?
It's been a while. We've been going back and forth trying to get you on the show, hoping to get you on the show. For people who haven't been watching the show maybe for a long time, I want to go back to the beginning of this. Luke Fickell gets hired, and we get this guy named Jake starting to pop into our comments and our chats. And he said, I'm all in now. I'm a Wisconsin fan. Fickell's my guy. Take us back to that. Where are you at right now as a new Badger fan?
I was trying to get on, we were both trying to get me on, when all this started. And I think some Badger fans were a little, upset because they wanted the McIntosh, right? Is that his name?
Leonard. They wanted Jim
Leonard.
Yep.
Jim Leonard McIntosh. Jim Leonard, right? And so they were kind of bummed out about that. But I think now that you've seen what Luke's been doing on the recruiting trail and stuff like that, I think a lot more people are like, yeah, this guy's pretty good, huh? That's the feeling I'm getting. Am I wrong?
No, people are excited. The question has become, and we get Rajiv on the show a lot, the question has become, is he going to win a title in the next 10 years? And Rajiv is all in on this. What was it like? Take us back to your history with Luke Fickell, and what's the connection there?
Luke was in, I think, was it my homeroom class? Andy was in my Italian class. Italian 1, which he passed, and I took Italian 1 4 years in a row, and I kept flunking it because I barely speak English. But he was always a cool dude. Luke's a special guy, and I think Wisconsin actually is a crazy good fit for Fickell football because just knowing the guy, all these intangibles that he has, and seeing him develop as an individual at DeSales High School and then at Ohio State. Here's some. I actually took notes because I wanted to go over a couple things that I think are pretty cool about Luke. He's in high school. He was a 3-time state champion wrestler, and he won 106 straight matches in a row or something crazy like that. Insanity. I think he lost one match our whole high school. The whole time in high school, which it's unreal, the competitiveness that's in this guy. And then he ended up playing for Ohio State, of course, under Coach Cooper. And before he was about to get, he had 49 starts in a row or something crazy. And he tore his pec muscle off the bone, tore his pec off the bone. And they were going to sit him for the bowl game. And he was like, no, I'm starting. I'm getting my 50th, man. Put me in. Cooper puts him in. And he played through that injury. No problem. Had a pretty decent game for his injury. And he let me see what else I got. He was he's a loyal family man. He's a great husband, father. You don't see any controversial stuff with this guy. And I don't think you're going to see that from your players either. I think if there's any trouble, he's going to get rid of it quick. There's not a lot of bad things I can really say about the guy. And as you can see, he never stops. You see him on the recruiting trail, and I feel like I watch your show pretty religiously, and I feel like every couple of days it's damn, look at this one. Damn, look at this one. And look what he did at Cincinnati. The Cincinnati was nothing before he got there. He developed those players. He didn't just play these players. They developed. Look at how they're doing in the NFL, some of these guys. The guy, he's not just a guy who churns the kids through the program or anything like that. I've seen him coach under Jim Tressel. I've seen him coach under Urban Meyer. I mean, you can't get much better than that. Coaching underneath these guys, you're going to learn things. That there's just really no downside. And I'll tell you, I'm feeling like I told you. And I grew up in Columbus. You have to be a Buckeye fan. They don't let you. You don't have a choice. Your parents say you're a Buckeye fan. Well, I am a Buckeye fan, but now Wisconsin's my number one team over the Buckeyes, even because Luke's my dude. He was always cool to me in high school, gave me a lot of free tickets to big college football games, road games, home games. Always was nice to me. Came out to some of my stand-up comedy shows with his amazing wife, and just you can't get a better guy. I'm all in on Fickell, and I do think the sky's the limit. I do. Maybe I'm a homer. Maybe I'm like, what do you call it? Partial. But I do think a national championship is going to happen for Wisconsin.
Well, did you know in high school? I think we talked about this, but did you know in high school that he was a different type of dude? Like, when did you know that? Was it just the wrestling, or none of this surprised you? When I asked you if any of this surprised you with his success in college football, you said no.
No, man, that guy's always been nothing rattles the guy. He eats, breathes, and sleeps football. Like he's never going to quit. Like even in the off season, he's going to be working. The guy's got an work ethic like nothing I've ever seen. He's a special individual, and I think a football team, especially in college, reflects their coach. They take on the characteristics of their coach, and I don't think you can do better than Fickell. And he's a tough guy. You look at his wrestling tapes. What a tough guy. Our coach can slam your coach on his head.
Right.
He's a bad dude. Talk
to me about, because he was the Ohio State interim coach. He had a year where it was just a tough year all around, taking over from in a, I wouldn't say the easiest spot in the world. People will say it's still Ohio State, but why do you think it didn't work as well as it could have that first year at Ohio State, and how did he handle that?
I think he handled it great. I mean, he got handed a dumpster fire at the time. There was all the stuff they got rid of Tressel, right? And then all those what do you call them, penalties and stuff the NCAA had him under, and all this stuff, and they handed to Fickell, which I thought, I'm glad they gave him a shot, but the circumstances weren't ideal, but he made the best he could out of it. He went on again. Then Urban Meyer comes in. Who's he hire? Coach Fickell. The Ohio State said, we want this guy. We like this guy. And, so I'm sure he was almost being, I thought, groomed for a future job as the Ohio State coach. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way. Unfortunately for Buckeye fans, but fortunately for Wisconsin fans, because I really think this guy is the real deal. I mean, I look at just taking Cincinnati to the playoffs is kind of crazy, isn't it? Like, who'd have thought that anybody could do that?
Yep. And why do you think I have so many questions here that I want to get into, not to mention Uncultured Barbarian, who's one of my favorites in the show, said Jake was in The Hot Chick. I vaguely remember liking that film. What was that like? Not to segue too much, but what was it like to be in The Hot Chick? You were in a couple movies, but what was that like?
Oh, dude, I got hired by Sandler, Sony Pictures and stuff. Sandler was producing those movies. So I had to read for Sandler and this guy, Jack Garaputo. That was pretty scary, but it was awesome. It was one of the greatest. Those were the greatest days of my life, bro. I mean, I was shooting movies with these guys and going to premieres with all these stars, and it was pretty crazy. I don't know. It was, I can't say anything but good things about Sandler and Schneider and all those guys. Happy Madison. It was the best days of my life.
So I've always heard this, and you never know, but everyone says Adam Sandler is like the nicest celebrity you could possibly run into.
Yeah, he's legit cool. Like you're nervous going into his office, because he's got this office at Sony, and you sit down in the office, and I've been in these offices before, and it's always, you're nervous, you're a wreck, it's a big deal, and all of a sudden a couple of dogs run up to you, and you're petting these dogs. You're like, what the hell's dogs doing in this office environment? He just lets his dogs run around the set, just like it, and it actually relaxed me. It kind of had me put my guard down, because you're petting a dog now. You're in a different, everything's cool. You're petting a dog. Really nice guy. Schneider, nice guy. They treated me amazing. The way getting to watch them, their process, getting to observe the process of filmmaking, the way they do it, the efficiency that they do it with is very impressive. The premiere parties were absolutely insane. I mean, everything was like 5-star amazing. Every superstar celebrity you can name hanging out. You're just like, what the hell am I? How'd I do this? How'd I get in here? This is crazy. I don't belong here. I kept waiting for somebody saying, hey, you got to go. You don't, what are you doing here?
Right, to escort you out.
Seriously. It
No,
was
that's
amazing.
awesome. I do. We listen. A lot more questions I want to get into here, including why such a great fit at Wisconsin, and then the terrifying question in the back of everybody's head: if this works out, what happens if Ohio State comes calling? We want to talk about those things, but first, a quick break for our friends of the show. We're going to keep Jake on this one. He's intrigued by the idea of eBay Motors. I'm a big fan of eBay Motors. Just coming on to the podcast for our new friends of the show, championship team. You got to find the right parts, the right pieces. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head over to eBay Motors with eBay Guaranteed Fit. You can make sure every part you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to my garage. Look for the green check to know the part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a championship win when you have the right parts and they're guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions do apply. Jake, what do you do when you need car parts?
I'll tell you what. I know one guy who could use a lot of work on their car, and his name's Ryan Herrings.
That's true.
I think you could keep eBay Motors in business all year round, dude. Do I need to buy you a car? What's going on with you, my friend?
My car history.
If you guys don't know, this guy drives around in an Amish buggy, but with no horse.
That's true.
He just pushes it.
My car history is tepid at best. Been carjacked. That car.
Oh wow, you're carjacked?
I was carjacked once. There's a whole story. I got hitchhiking stories. My car's falling apart. It looks like it's from Ukraine. It looks like it's from the front lines. They cycled it out, right? Oh man, I need eBay Motors. This is
dude. eBay Motors.
Let's go.
We love eBay Motors, and thank you, eBay Motors, for sponsoring Locked On Badgers
and helping me get the right parts for my jalopy.
Yeah, dude, we got to get your car, man.
People keep saying I'm just not. I mean, yeah, it's listen.
We're going to be in bowl games and championship games that are going to be who knows where, out west or something. Dude, we got to, we got to get your car, man.
Yeah, I got to step that game up, especially with the family. It's just not even safe. I want to go here. Uncultured Barbarian again says, "You gonna go to a game this year, Jake?"
I hope to. Yeah, man. I think I got some stand-up gigs around Wisconsin in like November or December or something. So I might be out there.
That'd be awesome. I want to go here. Like you've talked a lot about Luke, incredibly stand-up guy, family dude, tough, disciplined, hardworking. If you were to describe Wisconsin football for the last 20 years, it's been like tough, hardworking, right?
Smash mouth, hard nose football, like real football. That Wisconsin tough guys. You can't be ain't no sissies going to Wisconsin playing in that cold. And that's why I think it's like a hard-nosed team. And Luke Fickell, I think what a perfect fit. A tough guy like him going to a tough school like that, full of tough guys. It's just I think it's a great fit. I would rather have him gone to Ohio State, but then I was like, wait a second, Wisconsin, Big Ten school, great program, great history. He's getting much better recruits now than he did at Cincinnati. I think the sky's the limit. I think Wisconsin's going to have some good years ahead of them.
Talk to me about Wisconsin plays Ohio State this year. How much does that game mean to Luke?
I can't answer for Luke. I don't know, but because I imagine he probably still has a good relationship with a lot of those people over there. So I don't think there's any hard feelings, but I don't think he'll take it easy on him. I'm sure he's got that game circled, right?
It's in Madison.
It's in Madison, night game. Is that right?
Going to be a primetime game in Madison. Year one of Luke Fickell. Ohio State will be great, coming in probably top 5. That could be. Listen, there's a chance we talked about it. Wisconsin could be undefeated going into that game at night. That if that's the case, ESPN might be there, right? Because the storyline with Luke Fickell and Ohio State's already, or it writes itself.
It does. Yeah. And I think Wisconsin has a good chance of going undefeated. There's talk about this second game, Washington State, night game, I think, which could be kind of scary, but I think Fickell's got that one. I think they're going to win that one. I'm calling it right now. Wisconsin wins that game.
That's the one I've been nervous about, right? Like,
yeah,
because it's a road game and it's early, and strange things happen in college football. Like, you're an Ohio State fan. We've talked about it. Like, you've seen your team lose. Wisconsin should beat Washington State, not Ohio State. They should beat them. But
I think they should. You told me Washington State beat Wisconsin last year, right?
Correct. Beat them in Madison. Yep.
In Madison, yeah, but that it's different now. We got Fickell. We got I think the recruits he got. Everybody's getting in the right place. I think Wisconsin's going to win that game.
Can I tell you, by the way, how great it is to hear you already using the word "we"? Like, we got this.
Yeah.
It's one thing. I told you this on the phone too when we were talking previously. It's one thing to recruit Philadelphia or New Jersey or DC, but to land a converted a Buckeye fan and turn him into a Wisconsin fan, that's a tough recruitment to win. And Fickell's already done that with you.
What's weird? My brother is somehow friends with Barry Alvarez, I think, and he's a Wisconsin fan. So, like, it's really odd. Like, my whole family's slowly converting to becoming Wisconsin fans.
I love it.
Very strange.
Here's a question for you, Kyle Bauman. First test as a new Badgers fan. What are your thoughts on Minnesota?
Well, I didn't used to have anything against Minnesota. Now, all of a sudden, I feel like I do.
Yes.
I can't help it.
I love it. Let's talk about this, because this is, and I want to definitely leave room to get into any other stories you have and any other thoughts on this, any other questions. I know we don't normally go live at this point, so people are used to our late night Badgers After Dark live shows. But what happens when Ohio State potentially comes calling? Do you think? I know you can't speak for Luke, and who knows what that scenario looks like. But let's say Luke Fickell does great at Wisconsin, which a lot of people expect him to do. Ohio State, maybe, who knows? If they come calling, do you think what do you think would happen there?
I really have no clue, because, I'd like to say money talks, but I think there was a couple schools on the West Coast that offered him a bunch of money and he didn't bite, right? So, like, I don't know. I can't speak for Luke. I have no clue what he'd do, but I kind of feel like he's trying to build something in Wisconsin right now. I don't think whatever happens, Wisconsin is going to, I believe he'll have Wisconsin in a better place winning if he leaves. But hopefully he stays, because I love it. I think it's a great fit. It's fun for the Big Ten to have Fickell in the mix, because, you got Ohio State, Michigan. That's what everybody always thinks when it comes to Big Ten, and then Wisconsin. Well, I think with the guy like Fickell, I think he'll get right there in the mix with Ohio State, Michigan. We're going to be talking about Wisconsin. I know it's going to happen under this guy.
And I wanted to ask you that. What's the ceiling? Do you think they can get to that level? You think Luke Fickell can bring this program there?
Yeah, I do. I have a lot of faith in the guy. I think national championships are not out of the question. He's determined enough. He's competitive enough. He's driven enough. He's got all the tools to make it happen. He damn near did it with Cincinnati.
That's true. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And, by the way, John Kottmeyer says, "Attaboy, Jake, let's go."
Hell yeah.
Bob Milborn says that's a Badger in Columbus. I love this guy. Everybody loves Jake, man. No, not a whale says there's Buckeye fans in Columbus. Right on. There is now. Well, that and Bob, who just commented. I wanted to ask you about this, because you're a person who's been touring in comedy and being in front of people, talking to people since you were 17. You've done tons of work all over that spectrum. What is it about Luke Fickell's personality? Because people talk about he's a guy that commands a room, right? What is it about his personality that makes him unique?
There's just something special about the guy. The guy never gets rattled. I've never seen the guy rattled, ever. And you don't know by looking at a lot of the like after the game, the press conference. The guy's funny. He's got a great sense of humor. if you can get him going, he's a funny dude. He's got it all, man.
Well, and that's the other thing I wanted to ask you. What else about him don't we know? Like we've talked about all the football related stuff, the hard work, the family stuff. Is there anything else about maybe a talent that he has, something he did in high school, any other things that we don't know about?
Actually made a lot of money selling foot fetish photos on OnlyFans. A lot of people don't know that. That's why he doesn't wear socks.
Stop
it. None of that's true.
He doesn't wear socks, though. That part is true.
Why doesn't he wear socks?
You know him better than we do.
I sent him an email and I was like, dude, it's cold in Wisconsin. You better get some socks, bro. Is he just that rugged? He's going to be walking around in Wisconsin, 3 feet of snow, no socks.
I thought it was like a Columbus thing. Like you guys just are all walking around with no socks out there.
I got 3 pair of socks on right now. I wear them on my hands like gloves. I'm all in on socks.
Yeah, so we noticed that, by the way. We in the press conference in certain areas we noticed the sockless thing, and we've actually internally asked about it more than we should. We thought about it more than we should. Did he get back to you at all? Did he give you a reason?
No, yeah, I lost his number. I got a new phone and I lost all these.
No.
I lost some crazy numbers that were in that phone, like famous people, and I lost them. And because I was trying to get a hold of them, and I know Luke, you got to be watching this. You got my number, bro. Maybe he doesn't have mine either. I don't know. I shot the athletic department an email. But I saw him in a press conference or something, and he was saying a lot of people have been contacting me. I just haven't been able to contact anybody. I'm like, he's so hyper focused on this football program, so I don't take it personal. But if he gave me a call and wanted me to come to a couple games this season, me and Herrings will show up, and
that's right.
Hell yeah, we'll take those tickets.
We'll take Jake's car for starters, and then we'll
yeah, dude. I got the Cadillac, brother. We'll go.
Yeah. We'll definitely take your car then. You don't want to get in my passenger door doesn't open anymore. So it's really annoying when we go somewhere because I have a family and it opens, but it opens with a loud pop. It sounds like a gunshot going off. So we'll open the car, like duck around, right? I have to say, I'm sorry.
Is that what saved you from getting carjacked? They opened the door and pop. They were like, oh no.
Nothing saved me. A real quick story when I was getting carjacked. The guy, there's 4 of them, 2 of us. The guy pulled a gun on me. The other guy came over and started going through my pockets. And I'm a very everybody's good. Everybody's a good soul person, right? I find the good in everything. And I grabbed this guy's arm. He's going through my pockets, right? The other guy has a gun. And I tell him, hey, you don't need to do this. There's a better way. And he just punches me in the head and drops me. I was like, no, you don't have to. You don't have to.
He was like, I'll be damned. I did find a better way. I punched you in the head. That's a lot easier.
The dude turns on, just cracks me in the head and steals my shirt and drives off to my car.
He stole your shirt?
Yeah, he stole my shirt. Yeah, it was a nice button up. Like I was a whole bunch of night.
You don't steal a man's shirt. What kind of shirt was it?
It was like a white button up. We were going to the club.
Oh, dude. I mean,
yeah.
Carjacking, I get carjacking, but look, you got my car. Leave me my shirt.
Yeah,
you're walking around with no shirt on, your car driving off.
So I had like a white undershirt, like the cheap Haze cotton, like the $9 white shirt. They took my button off there. Like, give me that shirt too. Like you got my wallet, my phone, my car. They stole this thing called a Jihad Wimmy Diddle, which is like this Tennessee magic stick. I'll explain that in a different thing. And
what?
It's a Jihad Wimmy Diddle. A friend of mine made it.
Jihad Wimmy Diddle. You're just making
no. Google it. When we're done, Google it. It's a Jihad Wimmy Diddle. This show has gone off the absolute rails. We'll do this. I'll get into that another time. I want to loop it back to Luke Fickell, Wisconsin. How long? Like, what do you see Luke doing long term? Like, I've always wondered with coaches, because coaching is a high stress, high time. How long do you think he coaches for? Like, what is his end game?
I think he was actually talking about opening a factory making Jihad Winnie Diddles.
Stop it! I'll never.
What is it? I'm gonna have to look it up. Anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked.
Really quick. I'll give it to you really quick. So Jihad Wimmy Diddle, it's like Tennessee folk magic. It's a stick. Somebody carves notches in the sides of it, okay, and they put a propeller at the end, and then you get another stick, and depending on which side you put that stick on, you can make the propeller turn in different directions by saying G or Ha. So it'll turn in one direction, and you say G, and then you say Ha, and you can make the propeller change directions. It's this whole thing. Trust me. Like, and the long and short of it is this guy, my friend from Tennessee, carved this for me. It was incredible. And then these guys carjacked me, took my Trans Am, punched me in the head when I tried to convince them there was a better way, and then stole my Jihad Wimmy diddle. That was like the worst part of it. Honestly,
that's like the worst day ever, bro.
yeah. That story kept going. I ended up hitchhiking later that night because I didn't have a car, and I ended up getting in a car with a gangster named Cap C, who said we could go back down to Jacksonville where I got carjacked and kill everybody who took my car. Like, it was this whole thing.
Dude, this is like a movie or something.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
What was the gangster's name?
Cap C. Yeah, he gave me his number. Like, he literally wrote his number down on like a Post-it note and gave it to me. So I had this dude's number in my wallet from like Cap C, who knew the people who took my car. Yeah, I apologize for everybody listening to this. As Marion says, now I'm confused.
Yeah,
this is going to be a one-off show, but it's going to be. I love this. It's been awesome.
It is. Jihad Winnie Diddle.
Bring me back to this though, and I apologize because I derailed this. What is his end game? You mentioned you're not really sure where is he coaching in 10 years? Do you think, or is he gonna? I don't know. Is he a lifer?
I mean, I can't see what else can you see this guy doing. He's like, he just exudes football coach, doesn't he? I see him getting so focused he wins a national championship at Wisconsin. That's what I see.
We should be on a show with Rajiv. Rajiv, you and Rajiv would get along.
I like Rajiv, man. What's up, Rajiv? Hell yeah.
We're making shirts. Talk anything else with Luke Fickell that maybe we don't know or we don't understand?
No, I think we covered a lot. I mean, because really, I wanted to come on here day one and sell Luke to the people of Wisconsin, but now it's already done. Like, I think he's already proven himself. Like, you could see now the way he's operating and the way he's doing things. And I think you and I were talking on the phone, the way he's embraced the culture. And I think it's such a good fit, man. I really hope he stays at Wisconsin for a long time because it's a lot of fun. It's really it's cool. It's breathed new life into the Big Ten, and it's mixed things up. It's going to be fun, man. We're gonna have some fun times. I think.
I love it.
I think he's going to win some games he's not supposed to be winning too, and it's going to be great.
And to your point, I don't think anybody needs selling on Luke Fickell anymore. And that's what Steve Mitchell said. I think we were sold on Luke. It is like he's come in and he re-energized a lot of aspects of the program that maybe weren't lacking, but needed maybe a little kick in the pants. And he's come in and done that, and he's addressed it from top to bottom. Hold on, John Kottmeyer. I've lived in Tennessee since '93. I've never heard of a Wimmy diddle. That is, you're not in the backwoods of Tennessee. That's why, John. You're probably in Nashville. You got to go into the hills.
Well, yeah. You ain't from Tennessee unless you had a Jihad Winnie diddle, son.
That's fantastic.
You're a fraud.
Fraud. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up on that. I will tweet there's a guy who does famous Jihad Wimmy diddles. I will tweet it out. It's a real thing. And somewhere in the streets of Jacksonville, in the dark recesses of the alleys, some guy's walking around with my Jihad Wimmy diddle.
Oh, dude. I mean, you could take my car, you could take my shirt, but I'll be damned if you're going to steal my Jihad Winnie diddle.
It's still a sore spot for me. This is 20 years later. Kyle Bauman says no one with all their teeth knows what that is. It's so true. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up there. Jake,
on Wisconsin.
Well, please tell people what you're up to, too, if you want to, and where they could potentially find you or what you got going on.
I don't even know my social medias. I should have probably, I'm hardly ever on there. I think I'm Cadillac Comedy 4 on TikTok. And if you can find me, I'm on Twitter. I'll have all that stuff next time I'm on.
Let's do it. And
I don't really care about social media, dude. I'm not, man.
In the meantime, though, let's get you on again at some point, especially during the season. And if you can make it to Wisconsin, definitely let us know. I say us as a collective Badger fandom, but let's do it. Let's get together.
Yeah, dude. Let's hit a game.
Let's do it. All right. On Wisconsin, Jake Iannarino. I mispronounced the name again. My bad.
Iannarino.
With that, on Wisconsin, and we'll talk tomorrow.